Hey guys, welcome to 8.3 multiplying polynomials. So we did some multiplying of polynomials last time, but now it was really a monomial by, polynomial. Now we're going to look at multiplying two polynomials together that are, it's more than one term. In other words, something like this, where we have the distributive property being used, but used twice. So if we use the distributive property here, remember that you have to take the first term and multiply it by each of the second terms. All right, then you take the second one and do the same thing. Okay, this method is called the FOIL method, and I'm going to get into that in just a second and what that stands for. But it's essentially just the distributive property used twice. That's all it is. Okay, so kind of want you to try one here. I don't know why it says try one and then I give you the answer, but if you look at 1a, notice what we did here. We took 3m, multiplied it by mn plus 5, right? So 3m times m plus 5, and then we took the 4 and did the same thing, multiplied it by the same thing. And then, going back to our original lesson in the chapter, we combine these like terms, okay? Same variable, same degree, those can be combined to the 19. Don't try to combine it with this m squared, not the same degree. All right, so for 1b, this is the one you really should try, so go ahead and try this one out. All right, let's take a look at it here. So I'm going to take 5y, and I'm going to distribute it to this. So 5y times y gives me 5y squared. Remember that y times y, if you multiply the y's together, you get y squared. If you add the y's together, you get 2y. Very different, okay? Somewhat related, but different, all right? So just make sure that whenever there's a variable multiplied by itself, that you square it. Okay, so next we have 5y times 8, which is going to be plus 40y. And then we're going to do the same thing with this guy. Now notice the negative 2 is attached to that, right? So I'll do this one in blue. So if we do negative 2 times y, we get minus 2y. And then negative 2 times 8 gives us negative 16. All right, now we can combine like terms, which are these guys. So we get 5y squared plus 30. Whoa, let's go back just a second. There we go, plus 38y minus 16. And that is our answer. We are done. Okay, so to the FOIL method, which is essentially what we've been doing, but it gives people a nice little way to remember how to do this. What the FOIL stands for is first terms, outer terms, inner terms, last terms. Okay, so it's just another way of looking at it. So if you take the first terms, that would be like x times x in this example, and then I can change some colors here. So it's the first terms, so the yellow ones first, and then the outer ones. So that would be marked with red. Okay, those are the outer terms. And then go to the inner terms, which would be in green here, 4 times x. Okay, and then the two last terms we'll do in blue, which would be 4 times 2. Negative 2, I should say, in this case. And this shows you all the work for that, right? And then you simplify it, combine like terms, and you're done with your answer. Okay, so it's the same thing we've been doing, just a method that, if you hear me say FOIL, it's just basically saying use the distributive property twice. So let's look at this one for 2a. We have x plus 3 times x minus 4. I begin to set it up here for you. So we have x times x, then we have x times negative 4, and then we have 3 times x, and then 3 times negative 4. So that becomes x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12 when you do the math, which is x squared, negative 4 plus 3 is negative x minus 12. Okay, and we're done with that one. For this one's a little different in that we have a number on both of these. So let's go ahead and do it. So we take 4b times 3b, 4b times 2, then take negative 5 times 3b, negative 5 times 2. Go ahead and give that one a shot. And you should be getting 12b squared plus 8b minus 15b minus 10 when you do that. Because you should always get those 4 pieces when you're multiplying a binomial by a binomial. And that simplifies to 12b squared. 8 minus 15 is going to be negative 7b. All right, then minus 10. There's your answer. Go ahead and do 2c and 2d on your own here. And we'll look at each one of those individually, but give these a shot. So try out 2c. Go ahead and pause the video here, and let's look at it. So 2y times y gives me 2y squared. 2y times negative 6 gives me negative 12y. Negative 5 times y gives me negative 5y. Negative 5 times negative 6 gives me positive 30. So this becomes 2y squared. Negative 12 minus 5 gives me minus 17y plus 30. All right, and then for 2d, we have 15a squared when we do these guys. Then if I multiply the 5a by negative 4, I get negative 20a. 2 times 3a gives me plus 6a. And then 2 times negative 4 gives me negative 8. So we have 15a squared. These can be combined. That becomes negative 14a minus 8, and we're done. Here, for example 4, they want us to use the distributive property to multiply a binomial by a trinomial now. And then this will be the last thing that we do. So what you need to do here is I'll kind of color code this. The first thing that we'll do is we'll do the first thing in red. So we're going to take this 3x and we're going to multiply it by everything inside. Okay, and then secondly, in blue, we'll take the negative 5 and multiply it by everything inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our red first. When we do that, we get this. And then when you multiply the negative 5 out, you're essentially doing this. So let's simplify that a little bit. 3x times 2x squared gives me 6x to the third. Remember that x squared times x. Think about that. X squared times x. It's like x to the first. You add the exponents, it's x to the third, right? So that's that one. Then we have plus 21x squared. Don't forget that's squared because it's x times x. Minus 24x. Okay, did that one. Now let's turn to blue for this guy. Okay, so we have negative 10x squared minus 35x plus 40. Remember that negative is being distributed to every piece, so negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, now we can combine our like terms. So let's do that here. Final answer in green. We have only one that's dealing with x to the third. So we have 6x to the third. Then we have, let's go to our x squared terms. We have these two. So we have 21 minus 10, which would be positive 11x squared. And then this one's gone. This one's gone. Then we have negative 24x minus 35x, which is going to be negative 59x. I believe, and then those are gone, and then plus 40. So just combining some like terms there, and we are done. All right, guys, that's the end of the lesson. Again, just using the distributive property in different ways is all we're doing today, and we'll catch you guys next time in class.